Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Sagittarius, November 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, Clairvoyant. Well, we have a great deck this month. It's a very romantic deck. It's full of vampires, but the vampires are all beautiful women and handsome men, so I'm sure there's something there for everybody. And the deck itself is, what is it called? What's it called? What's over on the Tarot of Vampires. As you might expect, makes it easy to search, doesn't it? For a vampire deck, the Tarot of Vampires. Now, you do know, I guess, that I provide clairvoyant readings to people from all over the world, wherever you happen to live, by way of FaceTime and Skype. I charge for those. If you're interested and want to see what's involved, have a look at the information that's in the description at the end of the video. Now, there's another gift which I offer to you freely, unconnected with the clairvoyant things. This is for free. It's the gift of healing. Now, you probably say, well, if you're not charging anything for it, then obviously it's no good and it doesn't work. Well, actually, if I were to charge for it, and had I ever have charged for it, it would not have ever worked. It wouldn't work. Because I know in my soul, if you can like, it's sort of a revelation that the gift comes through me and not from me, and you can join the dots as to where you think it might come from. But I know that I'm to receive no benefit for it, so no money. There's no obligation, there's no expectation, nothing's going to be sold or recommended, anything like that. It is just what it is, completely. Now, by the way, if this is speaking to you, don't be shy and just reach out to me. Lots of people do. I do them every day, and I set time aside every day to do them. I forget everything at the end of our session, so there's no worries about anything like that. There's no religion involved in it. Obviously, there's some spirituality, as you would expect, because that's how the thing works. Now, there are no video advertisements in this content, so you can enjoy the experience of the reading direct. And we're going to take 5 cards. So show me the magic. The Tower. Great card for you. That card there, the Tower. The 10 of Grails. What's happening here? The World. That's this. The Daughter of Scepters. I have a daughter. I have a Daughter of Scepters. Let me see. We have here the Lord of Knives. Right. I'll bring the camera around, shall I? Then you and I can have a good close look at the imagery on these cards while the cosmic energy speaks to us both and tells us how to make this energy work for your emotional fulfillment and put you on the road to success while I do the reading for you. What a great looking month for you it is here. Lots of change, passion, excitement, and forward motion. Let's have a look at this first card, which is that of the Tower, and which you drew first, of course, and this is Mars coming into the picture here. Mars, no doubt, riding along there, slashing, burning, slaying, and cutting away anything in your life that has become stale, stagnant, and not in accordance with your values. Here is, I think, a far-reaching inner transformation, a great degree of healing as well. The old now is being destroyed to make room for the new, and there's a lot of self-knowledge being obtained by you. It's as if there is a release of burdens from you, breaking down old forms and patterns, and in some respects, I have to say, it could well be something of a calm after the storm. Look, anything that you attempt to cling to is going to be destroyed by this transforming power of Mars here. And all that remains really for you is trust. The knowledge that all events in life arise from the endless love of being itself and bring you the possibility for learning and recognition. Now, this understanding of the true nature of events, it can change even apparent losses or painful disappointments into the valuable gifts that they really are. Now, want the change. Be inspired by the flame where everything shines as it disappears. Now, you know that the artist, when sketching, they love nothing more than the curve of the body as it turns away. Now, what locks in sameness for you, it's really becoming stagnant. Is it safer to be grey and numb? What has turned hard is rigid and is easily shattered. So pour yourself like a fountain. Flow into the knowledge that what you are seeking often finishes at the start, and with endings there are beginnings. Every happiness is the child of a separation it did not think it could survive. Remember always to have this in your mind, that today is a new day and it brings with it a new set of opportunities for me to act on. Now, I'm attentive to the opportunities and I seize them as they arise. I have full confidence in myself and in my abilities. I can do all things that I commit myself to. No obstacle is too big or too difficult for me to handle, because what lies inside me is greater than what lies ahead of me. I am committed to improving myself, and I am getting better and better every day. I am not held back by regret or mistakes from the past. I am moving forward daily. Absolutely nothing is impossible for me. Now, there was another major arcana floating around somewhere, I think, and it is this. Yes. The world. Well, I told you there was changes coming around, didn't I? And here we have the great one of the night time. Completion is what's happening here for you. Liberation from bondage, those things that are holding you down. And there's a burning off of karma. You are, in fact, also getting something of a cosmic reward for this time. Now, there's a completion going on here, and this completion is, at the same time, a new beginning, but on a higher level of being. Now, I think that you see yourself and the world as it really is, and all the clothing and masks you have, they kind of, given her nakedness here, they're sort of no use anymore, because you become one with your original nature. You are, in a sense, enraptured and caught up with the motion of the universe. I think your efforts are finally paying off. Now, it may well have been something of a long, hard haul, but you're almost there. But this is a reminder for you to finish what you've started. And this is also a time when you are learning to take control of your own destiny, and you'll be using the power of your will to get results. Willpower. Willpower, persistence, for you in particular, is extremely important. Persistence, willpower. Now, you may have control of your life, but you cannot control your environment. You cannot control the economy, or trends, or family circumstances. You can't control accidents that happen, or unexpected expenses, and the weather that floats around in our lives. You can't control other people and their moods, their personal situations, or their issues. You can't control biases or changes in an industry that you might be working in. You cannot control jealousy and envy in others. Look, unfortunately, you can't control everything. However, you can control your own strength to get back up and start again. Now, who is this woman that's up here? Oh, my word. She reminds me very much of a young woman when I was a much younger man that I dated for some time, and that woman made me feel like an animal, which is probably good because animals don't know sin, do they? This is Mars again, in the third decan of Pisces. What a passion around here. If something burns your soul with purpose and desire, it is your duty to be reduced to ashes by it. Any other form of existence will be yet another dull book in the library of life. Now, Mars in the third decan of Pisces. Well, you might think that that's a problem because Mars can be disruptive, not with you though, and it is known for bringing about conflicts, and maybe it has a problem in peaceful Pisces. But Mars here is in the third decan of Pisces. Pisces, as you know, is the last sign of the zodiac year, and each sign, as you may recall, is a segment made up of 3 10 degrees portions, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and 20 to 30. This is Mars in 20 to 30. Now, Sagittarius, as I say, has Mars in its second decan, the 3rd to the 12th of December. Mars in the third decan. Well, what's interesting is that the next sign after Pisces, the beginning of the new zodiac year, is Aries. And Aries has Mars in its first decan. Now, why do I think that that is important? It is because the energy of Mars in the last portion of Pisces, combined with the energy in the first portion of Aries, brings about the energy necessary to push the zodiac through into the new year. That's my estimation of it in any event. But here's satisfaction here, fulfillment radiating from you. Now, I think what this energy is doing is it is recognizing that deep within everyone's heart, there always remains a sense of longing for that hour, that summer, that one brief moment of blossoming. For several weeks or months, not really any longer than that, I don't think, a woman lives outside of ordinary life. She is intoxicated. She feels as if she exists beyond time, beyond its laws. She doesn't experience the monotonous day after day passing by, but moments of intense, almost desperate happiness. Now, love, of course, is not a hothouse or a glass house flower, but a wild plant, born of a wet night, born of an hour of sunshine, and emerging from wild seed blown along the road by a wild wind. A wild plant that, when it blooms by chance within the hedge of your garden, you call it a flower. And when it blooms outside, you call it a weed. But whether flower or weed, the perfume and the colour are always the same and always wild. Now, I must say, though, that with the presence of Mars here, there could well be arguments going on in a relationship. Now, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, because it could be some other relationship, but there is a tremendous, for you, energy on the heart here this month. Now, a bad fight is anything which does not help to move the relationship and the people involved forward. If one dominates the other, it will eventually be at the expense of the relationship. Everything depends on the intention. If the intention is to hurt, or to belittle, or to ignore, reject, or win, then good will struggle to come from that. If the intention is to try and work with some boundaries and deal with unresolved issues, then that is a positive thing and important. Love for the other person and respect for their rights, as well as your own rights, will set a steady course for any argument. Of most value, I think, is a sincere desire to make the relationship work, which, after all, is often why we do fight, because we want the relationship to honestly work. If we didn't, then, as is the case possibly here, we might take the view that someone really is more part of our history than they are of our destiny. And there are times, of course, when it is the case when a woman has been pushed beyond her limits, that any sensible woman will pack up her suitcases of pride and board the next jet to the Valley of Change. Then, where are we? A couple here. I'll do this one first, shall I? In all the battle armor there, riding the horse. You know, I get a lot of Gemini and Taurus around here, so I think that they are going to be important to you. Actually, I do think that you are going to have the energy of the mind, which is often associated with Gemini, along with the influence and stability and, in particular, determination and perseverance of Taurus here. This energy, for me, represents the idea of attack, of the violent power of motion applied. It's as if this fellow here in the suit of air is the wind, the storm. And I think that your qualities during this time will be those of skill, subtlety, and cleverness. Now, you may well be quite fierce, and I'm not surprised with that Mars around, but you'll also be delicate, courageous. You may, however, become altogether consumed with a particular project, idea, past time, which comes to you almost by way of inspiration, without you sitting down and necessarily reflecting about things. But your strong intellectual power here will be unified with a deep emotional perceptiveness. And so I think that only those goals which are emotionally charged will set fire to this passion within you. Now, flying alongside of you in harmony will be body, mind, and spirit. Now, I think you'll be getting a clear insight into a problem and working quickly to set goals without letting anything getting in the way. This nevertheless could be something of a restless period for you, which is probably not surprising given that we saw that tower there, but it's certainly a time for you to listen to your head rather than the heart. You're getting this feeling of restlessness again. Maybe you want to get somewhere else, either in your everyday life, travel. Restlessness in all aspects of life. Are you really all that happy with what you're doing to earn a living? Maybe you feel like breaking free, but you're in a good position to forge plans and set goals and bring them into fruition. But you've got to know what your goal is. Write it down in one sentence specifically. And say to yourself, I know my goal and I know what I am working towards. And I know that each goal is just a milestone on the way to my ultimate destination. Now, you know what I'm also getting here? I'm getting that you are freed from fear. Fear can no longer hold you. Its dead remains cannot frighten you anymore. Leo, Virgo, Cancer are thinking, look, you are going to be completely hungry and passionate for things of whatever kind, and almost entirely reckless in the means of obtaining your gratification. In some respects, I think you might be somewhat insatiable here. Now, you will be extremely individualistic, and you will be creating, like this woman here, no doubt, you'll be creating your own beauty by your essential vitality and energy. You are going to mesmerize other people. And I think whether it's in anger or in love, you're going to be violent, aggressive, and unable to be put off. And I don't think that there's going to be a great degree of patience to be had with you during this time. So I think that you will be a person who is confident, daring, exciting, quite a nonconformist, very freedom-loving, and very ambitious during this period. People are going to really adore your character and energy. But you could well find, as I say, that you might be vengeful, temperamental, or even unruly. But you do conquer these old fears and patterns of thought. You brought them to the surface and conquered them. Although I do have to say that you often learn lessons the hard way, don't you? Well, what is the next step in your life? So find it fearlessly. Learn about ways of transforming fearful feelings. Say to yourself, my greatest strength is my perseverance and communication skills. And also, as I accept my fear, it is transformed into love. What a fantastic reading. Spread of cards for you, made so much better for you being here.
Well, I told you that was an interesting deck, didn't I? And I hope you enjoyed the reading as much as I did by providing it to you. And unless I see you separately for a clairvoyant reading or for healing, then I'll see you again next month. And until then, though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.